Dear friends, welcome to the sixth segment of the ETHEM Innovation Series on megatrends and their impact on society, consumers, and companies. I'm Joost van Nispen, founder of ETHEM, the Innovation Institute at esic Business and Marketing School. On Twitter, Joost Tom. Today we will stay closer to home. In fact, we will stay at 0 kilometers from our home. It started with COVID, and home turned into a shelter, part prison, part place of refuge. Now we're finding a celebration of the local and the close-up, presenting Kilometer Zero. We used to value the exotic, the far away. Now we are increasingly valuing the local. Local is in, exotic is out. We're finding more and more stores that pride themselves on offering Kilometer Zero products, especially, of course, in fresh produce. We're finding an increased interest in local knowledge, local history, local geography. People with local knowledge are in demand, both online and offline as guides. We're seeing how apps, for example, hiking apps like Komoot and Wikiloc, are getting an explosion of local contributions. Locals who share the secret places and the secret trails that only locals used to know and share them with people, often from not very far away, who want to have a more profound knowledge of their town, their community, their province. We're finding an increasing preference for local suppliers. And we're also finding that local suppliers are preferred because they pay local taxes. And therefore, the taxes that the local suppliers that we buy from pay can be used to reinvest in the community. Reinvestment in the community has become an ever more important theme. Initiatives to better know and interact with neighbors and with neighborhood initiatives. It used to be not so long ago that in large cities, people barely knew their neighbors. Now we're finding apps like Nextdoor in the States and Tienes Sal in Spain that actively promote neighbors to get together and form real communities. The Kilometer Zero trend partially overlaps with the sustainability meta trend. And we're finding local produce, local markets are blooming everywhere, even where they did not exist even a few years ago. And we're finding more and more products marketed as local, like the Spanish brand Natural World, which prides itself on being natural, ecological, and made in Spain. I talked about the apps that get neighbors to get to know one another. Nextdoor in the States or Tienes Sal in Spain. They organize activities, they share news. Neighbors who have to buy or want to sell something. They're creating marketplaces of local communities, clubs, hobbies, everything to enrich the life in your building, in your street, in your neighborhood, in your community. One of my favorite examples comes from my hometown. And it's called Bijlmerbox. Bijlmer is an Amsterdam neighborhood, a bit away from the center, where local producers got together to market their products locally. The project was born during COVID in order to support the many small entrepreneurs until they could return to some form of normalcy. And it invited neighbors to experience the aromas, the flavors, and the stories of the city of Amsterdam. It was adopted by other municipalities in the Netherlands and will surely flourish long after COVID has disappeared. These are the Bijlmer boxes. They're actually sold in pop-up stores in the local neighborhood, and neighbors come by. Every box costs 50 euros. Every box is different from the next, but they all have in common that they celebrate locally made, locally produced produce. The next megatrend will acquaint us with a considerable diversity of characters. Tune in for our next segment, and thank you very much.